Welcome to the Forbidden Zone. I am the God King Chimulchangguapo. Listen again, and your co-host. But allow me to introduce to you your host for all things conspiracy, Illuminati, and New World Order. I give you the Illuminatiist.
Good evening, everyone listening. This is the Illuminatiist, and tonight...
Should you say good evening?
What do you mean?
It's not evening where I am, or for half the planet, or the other half if they're not listening in the evening.
So what would you say?
This is the good King Chimulchangguapo. Bow before me.
And that is not what I'm going to say. I don't want to say hello. That seems lame.
Greetings
Too British. How about here we are again?
to Romcom.
How do you know what rom-com means?
We have access to cable in the afterlife. Well, the old shows that have gone off to die.
I'll think about it for next time. But right now, we need to explain weather control conspiracy.
My old friend Thor. Now there's a god who knows how to party.
No, this is government-sponsored weather control. Machines, not gods and magic.
Well, that's boring. Go on.
Weather control is a secret going back to the gods, it's true, but then mortal man began dabbling. Rain dances, dowsing rods, cloud seeding, virgin sacrifices. All attempts to either control or instigate weather patterns.
My people used to sacrifice many virgins to me. Alas, I had no control over the weather. Never really figured that trick out.
Hey, what happens to people who are sacrificed to you?
It's the same to anyone who dies. They don't show up in my afterlife. I surely wouldn't be hanging out with you if hundreds of women... No, I'd be hanging out with you. More often, probably.
Right. In the 1800s, and the increased use of gunpowder in warfare, it was noticed that heavy rains fell after large-scale battles in Europe. The same was noticed in the United States during the Civil War. By the end of the century, the U.S. government decided to detonate a large amount of explosives in Texas to attempt to get it to rain.
That is particularly awesome. Mass explosions for no reason.
Right, well, it was for a reason, and it did work, but in proportionality to the usual rainfall amounts, which, as you can imagine, is different between the countryside of France and the deserts of Texas. But regular humans were intrigued. Once air flight was reinvented by humans, cloud seeding and cloud bursting began in earnest. These experiments were messed with by just about any secret organization that possessed air and space flight, including the Illuminati, since humans with the power to control the weather was seen as even worse than humans with access to nuclear technology.
I voted against that. Still think it's a mistake.
It was supposed to be just a power source.
Trust me, if there's anything I've learned over the centuries, if something can be weaponized by people, it will be. Video games prove that every day, as players come up with creative ways to kill one another without using any weapons.
You are truly a god king of unusual perspectives.
I am a god king with a lot of free time, since you insist on leading one of the most boring lives in the world.
The first real success of weather manipulation was Operation Popeye, performed by the U.S. military to extend the monsoon season in order to disrupt the Vietnamese army. It was not just successful. It was so successful it inspired an almost universal reaction among secret societies to force a multi-nation pact to ban weather modification warfare. But the cat was out of the bag and everyone was in the game because we all learned weather can be manipulated.
Well, of course it can be manipulated. Just ask Horus or Set. Those two...
But it wasn't just about creating weather either. A gel was developed in the early 21st century that absorbed 1,500 times its own weight in water. It was dropped on a storm off the coast in Florida and actually erased the entire storm. It was immediately banned by the U.S. government and the technology confiscated. Well, that's the tone that lets us know that Chip is about ready to come out of the oven.
Don't you mean teleporter?
Well, it's a figure of speech. But he's done, and why don't you listen in on what happened to him this time? Chip, are you in the vents again?
I'm chasing a squirrel that got in when one of the intake fans went down.
Just set a trap and get out of there. You have more important things to work on.
But if he breaks something, I'll have to clean it up.
What's the squirrel gonna break? Don't answer that. Just let the trap do its job.
This one's a smart bugger. I don't think a trap will do it.
Well, considering the trap is smarter than Chip, that means the odds are on the squirrel here.
He's trapped in a cul-de-sac. I can get him. I have a bag.
Well, good luck. I'm sure a squirrel can't kill.
Ah! I fell through the shaft. I'm dangling over a dark pit.
Can you see anything at all?
Just a broken shaft above me, and the support I'm hanging from. Everything else is inky blackness.
Computer,
Yes, boss.
can you tell where Chip is?
Yes, boss.
Can you get Robot down there to get him before he falls to his death?
Right away, boss.
Chip, hang on.
Hey, the squirrel is looking down at me.
Robot is on its way.
Aw, he jumped down here to keep me company.
Can you pull yourself back up into the shaft?
No, I've got this. I can hang, the little guy's on my hands. I think he wants to help.
I don't think he wants to help.
He's biting my fingers. He's biting my fingers!
That's not helpful. Do I understand that a squirrel is about to get the best of Chip?
Computer, get Robot down there now.
Stop it, you furry rodent! Stop!
And it goes from rescue to recovery in one fuzzy bite.
Computer, just have Robot locate the remains and make sure nothing significant has been damaged.
He fell 12 stories. Most of him will be damaged.
I meant equipment, Computer.
Oh, right. Got that.
Three African countries have gone missing as of this afternoon: Beninia, Burunda, and Zanai. We understand that several scientists from the region developed a method to move the countries out of sync with reality and have decided to leave this planet to its own devices and strike off on their own. From contacts down the dimension stream, we are told that they are doing well. We wish them all the luck on their adventure. In the meantime, a large real estate market has opened up on the continent and people are flooding in to take over the property. We hope that this can be a civilized transfer and we can keep the violence to a minimum.
Today's episode is brought to you by Amazon, a front for the Independent Order of the Odd Fellows with an insane amount of money. They could seriously outright purchase a number of countries just from petty cash. We're not going to tell you to shop or not to shop Amazon, because you will, unless you've discovered Alibaba. And their secret organization is a story for another time. So don't forget to keep shopping online at Amazon. We get a little part of every purchase, whether they know it or not. Which brings us to today.
Chip wasn't looking good at revival.
Chip never looks good.
How many times has he been revived?
Really shouldn't make a difference. We're not operating from a DNA sample that can deteriorate. We're operating from a scanned memory.
In a computer?
Right.
And computers never deteriorate.
Good point. Computer?
I'm not deteriorating, boss.
Right. But have Chip rescanned and compare results just to make sure.
Do you know how much memory a scanned person takes up?
Compare them, repair any inconsistencies, then dump one of the scans.
Got it.
Where were we? Oh yeah, weather control. HARP, or the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, has been suspected of being used for weather manipulation and control. The government has always denied it because the equipment there can't be used that way. The government is not outright lying in this case.
I might be struck dead by that statement. If I wasn't already.
Already what?
Dead.
Yeah. The equipment on books can't manipulate weather, but that's not the only equipment there. The weather manipulation equipment is off the books, and it's going on, trust me. But that's just the United States. Every major country and most secret organizations have some type of weather control, whether it's technology or a god, so no one manipulates the weather. Mutual Weather Disarmament Agreement.
So everyone has it, and no one is using it.
Essentially, but there's a word that there's a group of... That detection alarm means that we have got to shut down and go dark. Until next time.